Hey everybody, welcome back into Occupy Democrats. And self-proclaimed King Donald Trump is at it again in this breaking story, running around, marking everything like he's a dog on a fire hydrant. But you know, it's one thing to want to mark everything. It's another thing when you start playing king in a way that takes things away from the happiness of others, because that just makes you a tyrant. And if you'd like to see the tyrant out of office, subscribe to the channel. But in this breaking story, Donald Trump has always been the guy who thinks everything belongs to me because I know everything. If you're confused about that in any way, remember when he said this about Article 2?
More importantly, Article 2 allows me to do whatever I want. So, very simply, Article 2 would allow me to do.
I could have done anything I wanted. I don't even bring it up.
It gives me all of these rights at a level that nobody has ever seen before.
You always got to love when he says never seen before when Article 2 applies to every modern day president. But be clear that one of the things about Trump is he also said this about Vladimir Putin and Ukraine.
Do you see any future in which Ukraine returns to its pre-2014 border?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, right? It certainly would seem to be unlikely. They took a lot of land and they fought for that land and they lost a lot of soldiers.
Because in this breaking story, what Donald Trump is trying to do right now in Washington, D.C. is so absurdly ridiculous considering all that's going on in the world. It reminds us that he is the guy who said this.
I would have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States.
And he's also the guy, because he wants to be Putin, who told Putin, yeah, go ahead and do this.
President Donald Trump under fire tonight after saying he would support Russia attacking U.S. allies that don't pay what he deems their fair share.
I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want.
His comments threatening to upend the NATO alliance if he retakes the White House.
And so someone who feels they're entitled to everything just 'cause, and especially when you're president, is known to say things like this.
Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
And yet in this breaking story, what is Trump now trying to lift his leg and put his mark on and claim as his? Taking things away from the people of D.C. who rely on it for, I don't know, happiness, mental health, fitness, something Trump wouldn't know about. Check out the breaking story of what Trump is trying to do right now as president with all that's going on in D.C. over golf right here. Breaking news, Trump alarms with move to grab D.C. golf courses, in quotes, thinks of government property as his own. A proposed overhaul of the Washington, D.C. golf scene has been opposed by those who believe President Donald Trump thinks of government property as his own. The president is expected to make a move on golf courses in the Capitol, a project unfavorably compared to Trump's remodeling of the White House. Democratic Party Representative Jamie Raskin says a takeover of the golf system in D.C. is further evidence to Trump claiming government buildings as his own property. Representative Raskin, speaking to The Hill, said, in quotes, that ambition is reflective of a kingly approach to his job. He thinks government property belongs to him. It reflects the same mentality as bulldozing the East Wing. I haven't heard anyone in the district, Maryland or Virginia, say what the area needs is some Trump-run golf courses. Raskin had previously led an impeachment of Trump in the president's first term, and now he is warning that Trump is controlling more and more of the federal government directly. Charles Allen, a member of the D.C. Council, is concerned with Trump's interest and possible involvement in a takeover of the D.C. golfing parks, he said. Quote, these are historic, important public courses that have a rich history of affordability and access. It concerns me to have the Trump administration terminate the lease for, let's be honest, made-up reasons, Allen continued. It seems to be about a grab of the land for the wealthy and well-connected. We may be in a very difficult situation depending on which route the Trump administration takes on this, the councilman added. I think our Attorney General is going to be looking at all options if there is any recourse for the district. But again, the termination of a lease that everyone has worked on for so long would be really devastating. Comparisons between Trump's attempted grab at golfing in D.C. and remodeling of the White House comes as the president is sued over the future plans for the Eisenhower building. A plan to coat the Eisenhower Executive Office building with white paint has horrified leading experts in the D.C. Preservation League who were part of a lawsuit filed against Trump's rapid remodeling plans. League spokesperson Rebecca Miller argued Trump had been treating the White House as his, quote, personal portfolio. Greg Verkeyser, one of the lawyers who filed the lawsuit, has said The issue is not Trump's plan, but in how he wants to make the sweeping changes to historic buildings. Werkheiser said, in quote, paint traps moisture, ruins the mortar, weakens, and cracks the rock. Trump's wish to repaint the Eisenhower Executive Office building was confirmed in an earlier statement from the president where he shared his desire to change the ugly building. You know, it was over 10 years ago when Bill Maher actually said that the slow-moving coup was a real thing, and people laughed at Bill Maher for that. He was right. Donald Trump got back in as a wolf in the chicken coop, and if you think for 1 second that he is going to leave quietly, you are not correct. He is trying to remake everything in his image far beyond the East Wing. And the fact that, as a longtime good golfer, yeah, Trump, I would kick your butt. But to try and remake everything in his image and likeness just goes to show not just his ego insecurity and his kingly desire, it also is one of those things that should be a real strong warning to everyone. He will not go lightly into that good night. You guys like and share the video and stay frosty.